right, so Wendy, we're about to go watch Sober Songs right now, and you're gonna be on stage half an hour after the show, interviewing the cast and spending time on stage, connecting with recovery and the message of the show. Like, how do you feel right now?
So I'm very excited and I'm nervous. So you could have two feelings at the same time. And this is an amazing experience. And when I first came into recovery, they actually tell you that strap on your seatbelt because this is going to be a wild ride and beyond your wildest dreams. Because I believe that the 12 steps should be in your crib when you're born. Because if it was, the world would be a better place. And I always wanted to be in a Broadway show, or I would even take off Broadway show. And then here I am. So this is like beyond anything that I would ever even experience. And it's just awesome. And I'm really excited because it breaks the stigma of recovery. Oh, great job. Thank you. Thanks. For those of you that aren't in recovery, I don't know who is and who isn't, but this presentation was spot on. And the actors did an amazing job. I really felt it. I really felt it. And, there was some comedy and laughter. However, this is a serious disease. I've had clients who have passed away from this disease. I've seen people come in and out of the rooms, in and out of the intensive outpatient facility that I worked in, and it's very scary and sad. And the best part that I really loved was talking about emotional sobriety, because you could stop drinking, but it's great, but you can be a dry drunk, and you switch addictions like we saw here with the relationships. That's why they say no relationships in the first year, because you switch your addiction onto the other person and you don't focus on yourself and your recovery. But they didn't listen, right? So what happens is you suffer the consequences. And I've seen this very often. And, what you guys portrayed is real. And there are over 100,000 AA meetings worldwide today. And it all started with one alcoholic helping another, Dr. Bob and Bill Wilson. And because of them, we're here today. And what's so beautiful is this play, because we need to break the stigma together. There are other communities like Smart Recovery, which I facilitate a women's group once a month. And there are podcasts. One of my favorite podcasts is Crosstalk, that I was being interviewed. And, we're really recovering out loud today. And to not have shame, to be embarrassed about it, because I believe that the 12 steps should be in your crib when you're born. Because if it was, the world would be a better place. What's going on in the world, everyone could benefit from the 12 steps. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for those of you that are here. And if you think that you might have a problem, then ask for help, because there are loads of people that can help you. Okay, so I'd like to ask the three of you how you prepared for this role that you portrayed.
Sure. Yeah, so Henry, I played Dean. I almost said Dean, alcoholic. I did a showcase version of this show back in December of last year, which happened downstairs in the theater, in Theater 1. And so I've been with this material and with Dean for a little while. And one of the things that jumped out to me right away was the uniqueness of Dean's story, which was he was a very popular entertainer. And he suffered with addiction, and his journey through recovery, in the beginning at least, and in Act 1, it revolves around his relationship to his professional life, explicitly in the material. And right away, I have my own experiences, personal experiences, knowing people who are on this journey of recovery, but there are people who are famously and have famously throughout the past dealt with the struggle of recovery and addiction quite publicly. And there were a couple of people who I really took from some information about their behavior, how they handled it, because specifically with Dean's journey, you talked a little bit about shame and the notion about like shame at the beginning of the recovery journey, how when that is so public, when your vulnerability is displayed to millions of people, as in Dean's case, it can really amplify a lot of negative emotions and a lot of shame around feeling like this is all I am, I'm a failure. And so I really found a lot of, testimonial anecdotes from famous people who have struggled really helped. And so I pulled a lot from real life.
Hi, I'm Jocelyn. Thank you so
Hi,
much for
Jocelyn.
having me on the show. So working on Nina, I actually just joined this project with this new rehearsal process. So a lot of my working on Nina has been during rehearsal, which we were very, very grateful to have like a little bit over a month of rehearsals, which usually you only get like 2 weeks. So we were very grateful to have all of that time. And I think the thing that I had to think about the most with Nina was just making sure that Act 1 Nina and Act 2 Nina are very, very different individuals because she obviously goes through this huge life change, life altering thing that happens to her. And so making sure that I find the truth in it, which honestly, you can just find in the script and in the words and in the actions themselves because, like you said, this is a very relatable story that a lot of people can relate to. So, just finding the reality of the words that I was saying.
Hello, everybody. I am Bernard. I played Kat. And I feel like I've been preparing, this is going to sound so cliche, but I feel like I've been preparing for this role my entire life. In the sense that I have such a toolbox that I can draw from and so many life experiences that I can draw from to relate to Kat. Initially, if I'm being completely honest, which I always hope to be, I struggled with Cap as a character because me personally, I didn't identify with certain aspects of his life and how he is as a character. But then I started to think about all the things that I had been through and all the ways that I related to him. And it's been a really beautiful journey. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to ask one more question because I know we only have a half hour and I want to hear from the audience as well. So the other thought that I had was from your character, did you take anything you learned and applied it to your life?
Yeah. I think I ask myself, or rather, I tell myself, if nothing changes, then nothing changes on a daily basis now. It's fascinating doing Act 2 over the last several weeks of performing the show. Dean is in such an intense emotional state throughout that act and throughout that part of the show. And I find myself, backstage ready to come on as Henry and, trying to stay present and trying to kind of like make sure that I know this person and that I feel for this person and that I am this person. And, but as an actor, sometimes you deviate, we're in the digital age, so it's very easy to get distracted. And I often find myself as Dean talking to Henry, just like, if nothing changes, then nothing changes when I'm thinking about like my own personal life. And so that is definitely one sentiment that has really carried over from the character to me.
Thank you.
I would say for me, the thing that struck me the most about Nina is in Act 2, how much she loves her female friends. Because your female friends are really the people that keep you here and keep you grounded and like not being afraid to reach out to my female friends when I needed help. So yeah, that's good.
Thank you.
For me, it's Kat's line where he says, the cemeteries are full of people who are going to start over on Monday. And so there's such an immediacy with that. Don't wait. What is it that you want to do? What is it that you need to do? Do it now. And so I've been practicing that.
Thank you. Yes, so true what you're talking about because, we talk about in recovery, one day at a time, and all we have is today. So we really need to follow our dreams, follow our heart, trust our intuition, which I'm big on meditation and prayer. to really know, what is going to work for me, to get grounded and centered. And the 12 steps do help you get there. And I didn't mention, but there are at least 100 different 12-step programs. So everybody could live a better life if they follow, again, the 12 steps. And what I mentioned earlier, I mentioned podcasts like Crosstalk. I mentioned Smart Recovery, because not everybody wants to go into a 12-step program, because I do have clients that aren't interested in 12-step programs. And there's also Sober is the New Cool, which is the founder, Kim Bellis, and she's an advocate for recovery as well. And she's actually in Canada, and she's doing another recovery walk next weekend. So, we are all together, and, social media can be really great, because that's how I met a lot of the people that are even here today, through social media. Friends of mine came from South Jersey, drove 2.5 hours. I only met her once to be here for me. And it's touching, really touches me. And that's what recovery is. It's community. Like you said, friends, they're my sisters. I'm an only child, but I'm really not. I have so many brothers and sisters, and they're all here in the audience, even if I don't know you, because we all have one mission, to be here for one another. And again, I'm going to end with this, and then I'll open it up. Remember that it's your life. You do make the rules. And that's what my book's about. So I'm going to open it up. Yes, hi. Hi.
So how has this musical and your participation in it impacted your own personal lives? Do you proselytize? Do you find yourself second guessing, having a second glass of wine, unless you're already sober?
This musical has helped me continue to learn how to let go. I have many family members that have suffered through addiction, and I've lost many family members to addiction. And it's been difficult because I want to get in there and I want to make them do what I think that they should do. But Cat, he leads with a steady hand, but he does not say this is how it has to be. He offers it, and if they come and they do it, great. And if they don't, he's able to let it go. So that's something that I've been practicing.
I would say for me, I don't know. I just moved to New York like 2 months ago to do this show. So I'm just trying to figure out where I'm moving. That's all I got to say.
It makes me want to reach out to my father more. Hi, Dad. That's actually my father. No, seriously, it actually has. It has made me so much more present, and like relating to this person's journey day in, day out, especially like in the face of such a loss. Like I find myself, part of an actor's journey is asking yourself so many questions about, okay, so they're here now in this scene, but like where were they right before this scene? And with the magnitude of the loss that the character faces, that my character faces at the end of Act 1, I'm thinking about all my loved ones and all the people who I care about. And it's made me so much more grateful, honestly. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Yes.
Hi. This question is actually for Wendy.
Ah.
And it also, it might be something that you all should notice, and being in the, representing recovering alcoholics, but I just have heard, I have 3 children in their 20s, and I hear them talking about their friends, and I hear about the age range, and I know that you have many clients, and I'm wondering if I just seem to be hearing that there's a lot of people in that age range that are choosing not to drink.
Mm-hmm.
And that seems to be, and I'm wondering if it's because there's such an awareness of the disease because of their parents. So my children, I have no shame about, I'm not embarrassed of it. I am in recovery. So is it because there is a fear that they're going to have the disease, or is it just because we're doing a really great job of the awareness? And do you see that when you're, I don't know what age range, are you treating people in your, in your practice that are in that age range? Like, do we see that as something that may be happening, which would be amazing? Is this a thing? Is this a trend? And I don't know, do you see it amongst friends of yours? I guess it's for everybody.
Okay, so I'll jump in for a second, and then if you want to answer it, like I was saying, sober is the new cool, and a lot of young people just want to have a healthy lifestyle, and they're more aware, and people are talking about it. And if you even see celebrities, it's cool to be sober. And also, I will always say it's your friends who you're with. And the clients that I help really are 30 and above. And I've been switching more to the Al-Anon side because I find that if the parents or the loved ones get help, then it can help their family members maybe reach a bottom, because a lot of people enable. And then, like we saw, try to fix, which could actually hurt. So it's how to raise that bottom that somebody wants help and asks for help. So it's more the codependent and Al-Anon people that I find really need the help. The parents need the help in order to help the children. And that doesn't mean you tell them not to drink, but maybe you kick them out of the house and say, you've got to get out of here. I don't want to be around that chaos and toxicity. And maybe they'll get help. And I've seen that happen when parents do tough love. So thank you. I hope that answered your question. And any of you have an answer?
Yeah. To answer your question, yes, absolutely. And I can't tell you how many times I've been doing this show and told people, my friends, about doing this show. And a lot of the response I get is, oh, that's so cool. I've been sober for 8 months, or I've been sober for 6 months, or I haven't had a drink in like a year and a half. And how there's a casualness in people like my age range when I bring that up. That I think is really, really cool. It's like, it's not this heavy thing that you're like, burden that you're carrying. It's just a fact, and it's just part of you. So that's, I don't know why, but it's great.
I started to notice because I've been traveling a lot, so every restaurant I go to has a non-alcoholic beverage menu that's so I've been noticing that, for better or worse, corporate America and restaurants, everyone is starting to take notice, and I think that it's a really great thing.
Okay, so I guess that's it. Okay, well, thank you all for being here. Thank you.